Clay is confusing, so here you have things to take in mind when you're starting using it. All these things will help you to speed up the process, being able to create tables that are more efficient and achieve better results in the same time. I have started using Clay for 2 years now, and in that time I have been able to make more than $500,000 from different Clay gigs over time. But here's how I would make it 10x faster just by applying these things. First of all, understand that Clay is an operating system. It's like learning a new language. Clay is not another tool that you can add to your stack. It's a way that you can start building your sales processes, your marketing process, and your customer support processes. So when you are implementing Clay, you must think that you are changing all the philosophy about how you are doing GTM. So far, you have been able to achieve data sources that will give you access to companies' data, firmographic data, or leads data. But then Clay can revolutionize that because it can help you merge different data providers and being able to use AI to create different content for qualification processes, for creating copy, and even connecting tools that will help you create trigger-based campaigns. So when you start implementing Clay, you will notice that the possibilities are endless. Another fact that you need to know is that although in Clay you will be able to create really complex workflows, complexity won't bring you results per se. Knowing what you are going to build, having the business insights and creating an effective strategy will drive you results. Clay would help you to speed up the process to execute that strategy. Another fact is that Clay isn't just a prospecting tool. Most of the sales professionals consider Clay as a way to get contact data easily, but that's not all. Clay can help you to enrich your CRM, being able to create personalized copy, create trigger-based campaigns, monitor your audience, being able to create content even. So there are many use cases that you can implement Clay to be able to speed up the process that you're looking to increase the results. One thing that we always recommend to our clients is that every time they create a new workflow, turn off the table, because if you don't turn off your table, every time you add a new row to that table, it will run every column that has an automation, an enrichment process in it. So you can start spending a lot of credits without even noticing that. Another good tip to save a lot of credits is to first create a workflow with that table stopped and then start running, let's say, 10 rows, 20 rows as a sample to understand if their workflow is working correctly. After understanding if the results are the good ones for you, you can start assessing the cost of running the workflow. So by assessing the cost of the workflow, you will be able to understand if that workflow would be efficient for you or not. And in order to do that, we have a great asset for you to share, which is a spreadsheet that will help you to compare different enrichment tools and the cost to run that in Clay. So check it out on the details of this video to access that asset. In Clay, you will also be able to create your own tables views. And that means that you can create a filter to see only the values that you want to see, and that will help you to have a better UI for the process that you are currently doing. So let's say you want to create personalized copy. You can hide all the columns that are related to finding the contact data, columns that are related to company's data, and just focus on the data that you have about the lead and use that UI to filter it. Most of the cases when you're starting using Clay, you will notice that you can get a lot of different data points from different providers, but each enrichment will cost you something, at least a credit, or if you have connected that with the API from that different tool, maybe you are running using the credits from that tool. So take in mind that after running an enrichment, always consider qualifying the companies or leads that you want to enrich it further. And in order to do that, you are able to use Clay's formulas, which are free and will help you to, using AI, create a formula that will give you as a result a qualified or not. So you can use that to select which rows you want to enrich it further. Another thing that you should take in mind when you're starting using Clay is that in most of the cases, connecting your own API keys from different providers will be cheaper than using Clay credits. But all the tools will have a break-even point. So let's say you want to get just 100 emails. So in that case, it won't worth it to subscribe to an external tool to get them. Just use the credits. But if you want to enrich, let's say 100,000 emails, it will probably worth it to subscribe to an external tool and then use the API key. The exception here is that it's always cheaper to run AI columns using your external API key from GPT, Gemini, using the great credits most of the cases. Every time you had the chance to use a free column, let's name it formula column, the lookup for multiple rows, the lookup for single row in our table, the write to other table, those features are free in Clay. Even you are able to scrape the sitemaps of websites to then determine which pages it's better to scrape using the ClayGen, and that will help you to save a lot of money in enrichment processes. So if you want to get the break-even tool to assess if it is more convenient for you to subscribe to an external tool and connect it to Clay, or just use your Clay credits, you can check it out, this spreadsheet that we have built precisely for that objective. So in this case, you will see the comparison between different tools here and the plan name of each tool. Here you have the cost of each plan and then the capacity of how many enrichment you can run with each plan. Finally, you will find here total cost per usage, that will be the division between the monthly cost and the total capacity of it. So if you compare it to using Create credits, let's say to enrich and find the email in the Tagma, it will cost you 2 credits. And if you are in a starter plan, each credit will cost you 7.5 cents. So that would be about 15 cents. If you are in the Pro plan, the cost per credit decreases, but it's also 3 cents to get an email. But if you have subscribed to the Dagma, you will be able to get emails for just 1 cent. And then you can understand which is the break-even point. So in this case, you will notice that if you are trying to get more than 1,200 emails in the Pro plan, it will be cheaper for you to subscribe to an external tool and then connect it to Clay. But if you are in the starter plan, the break-even point will decrease a lot because credits will be more expensive for you. So in that case, just by getting 262 emails, more than that, it will be more cheaper for you to subscribe to an external tool and connect it to Clay than using Great Credits. So you can do the same for your own tech stack and insert any tool name and plan and be able to understand which is the cost of running your workflows. One of the most underrated functions in Clay is the Find Companies feature in Clay. Because it's a free feature, most people think that it's not valuable, but you can easily assess your TAM size just by checking and using that tool. And it is faster than many other tools like Apollo to be able to get you the list right away and then start monitoring it. So it's an effective way to be able to get the TAM in a workspace. When you are crafting your list in the Find Companies feature in Clay, you can use the filters to be able to find, let's say, software companies by typing down the keywords SaaS, fintech, platform, crypto, any other keyword that is related to startups, and then you will narrow down the search a lot. You'll be able to get a precise list of startups just by using these hacks. Another great way to start a list in Clay is using the lookalike feature, which will look for companies that are similar to the one that you provide. So in that case, it will look for companies that their industry and the description from LinkedIn will be similar to the ones that you can have the LinkedIn URL or the company domain. So that's a great way to start a list, starting from your current clients or your competitors' clients, to be able to find highly qualified leads. There is an amazing feature in Clay that's called lookup for multiple rows. It actually checks against the same table or against any other table if the record is sitting there. So you are able to check if the leads that you get from a search are in a blacklist, for instance, and by checking that, you will be able to get them out of the workflow. So you can stop sending emails to them or just send emails to the ones that are in another list, for instance, in your TAM table. One key function in Clay is the capability of being able to understand when a person changed their role. So let's say you have your first degree connections uploaded into Clay. Then you can create a monitoring system to be able to know easily when any of those first degree connections that already know about you change roles to a specific role or to a specific company. So you can reach out to them in the precise time that they have budget to invest in your solution. In some cases that you have a big TAM and you want to create different tiers of the leads that you want to work with, Clay will give you a capability to use AI to qualify those leads and route them to different sequences. You can create a prompt to be able to score leads, companies, and triggers, so every time they match your criteria, they can be sent to a specific campaign or to a specific rep. So another tip would be that scoring is better than filtering. If you want to score, you will be able to get all those leads that are not as interesting as you would like to send to a campaign that can be a cold email campaign, so they receive something from you with a high volume, so the cost per running these leads will decrease a lot, so you can save all the multi-channel sequences to running only the hot leads that are more relevant for you. Most of the companies' LinkedIn profile lie, so you don't have enough information there to qualify the companies. And most of the data sources will give you data of the industry and the services they provide based on their LinkedIn profile. But in Clay, you have the capability to use the Clayagent, which is a great feature that will look for any data that they have on their website, and then you can use that to catalog their information or just qualify them based on the data that the scraper gets for you. We have been talking to a lot of sales professionals, and some of them think that using personalization they will increase their reply rate, but that's not true. I mean, what will really increase the reply rate is the relevance that you can add to your leads. So it's not just personalization, it's personalization to create relevant messages. So in Clay, you will be able to extract data sources from different providers and being able to use that to create really personalized messages for your leads. It's not about talking about the information they have on the LinkedIn profile, but use that to give them insights and value that they can be able to use and get some results fast. Another great way to use Clay right now is to automate the Clayagent to scrape your competitors' websites to be able to know as fast as possible when they change something, so you are able to benchmark your competitors. Now, if you are newer to Clay, want to find out all the possible use cases of Clay.com, we have created a video in which I showcase 15 ridiculously insane use cases of Clay that you can check it out by clicking here. What I'm showing you in this video can be a huge leverage for you to stand out among all your competitors. So make yourself sure to check them out and see you over there.